In Zelda, there are good enemies and there are bad ones, and in today's video we're going to be ranking every single enemy in tiers of the kingdom, starting off with our trash. I only put 3 in trash because these are the worst enemies in the game. The Keese, the Octoroks, and the stupid wizard guys, I hate all of them. They don't even deserve a place on this list, so I have to put them in the garbage. They're the only 3 enemies in this game that I genuinely don't think have good designs or are cool to fight at all. I guess the wizards kind of have a cool design going, but they're just annoying. Their voices are annoying. Their whole design is annoying. So screw those 3. Those 3 are trash. So we get the likes. These are the guys that like shoot out the little things. They hang onto the walls. They're annoying. They have a decently cool design, especially the fact that there's like multiple elements. But that's kind of with anything, any enemy in this game. I kind of want to put them in true mid, but I'm going to put them in bad just because they're annoying and I hate them a lot. Lizalfos are actually pretty cool. Their design is sick. I like the fact that they're an enemy that actually moves faster. They have unique attacks and everything. But other than that, the weapons that you get from them aren't too crazy. I wish they still had more boomerangs. That was kind of their unique thing. And whenever I fight them, I don't get many boomerangs. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe I'm being dumb. But I'm going to put them in true mid. I think they have a cool design, but fighting them isn't fun. Aracuda, I really got to say these guys are bad. There really isn't any justification for these guys. They get one shot by every single weapon in the game. They have like 1 HP. They fly around and they don't really do anything. It would be different if they like chased you in the air, but they kind of just do a dash attack that doesn't ever hit you, like ever. They're just lame. They're annoying. They carry around bokoblins sometimes, which is pretty cool, but it's not utilized a lot. So yeah, they're just bad. Now for our first big enemy, we got the Talus. The Taluses are pretty much the same as last game. The only thing they added was the new Battle Talus, and I think they added a Luminous Stone Talus. Taluses are a pretty cool design. The fact that you can only hit the rock on top of them. Some of the fights with that, like the ice one where you have to cool it off before you can hit it is pretty cool. They could be fun to fight, but the Talus is kind of annoying sometimes. I really want to put the Talus in good, just because it's a cool enemy. It's like a cool mini boss that you can find on the map. But I think I'm going to end up putting it in true mid, just because he's just annoying to fight. Like, I don't enjoy fighting the Talus, bro. And once you get high enough level, you could just spam arrows from the air and just like instantly one-shot him. So yeah, true mid right there. Next up, we got a new enemy to Tears of the Kingdom, another new one, the Boss Bokoblin. Now, this is actually a really cool design. It makes the Bokoblins look a lot more chill compared to, especially the first time you see one of those guys, you're just like, dang, this is a big Bokoblin.
Hey, yo! Is that a Gleeoks?
He's leading all of them. He can be annoying to fight one-on-one, especially when you're low in the game, because he just kind of one-shots you every single time. But this is the first one I'm going to put in good. I actually think the Boss Bokoblin was a super good idea. It works perfectly. He can control like a group of them. He's usually in the big bases. It makes the bases seem more legit because they have a boss, and he drops good loot. So overall, a good enemy. Next up, we got the Gleeoks. This is another returning enemy. Nothing really changed with the Gleeoks. I think he maybe got a few more attacks. But he's just a really cool, he's imposing, he's large enough on screen that it actually makes him seem kind of scary in the first time in the game. And the fact that they didn't change much is actually perfect, because he was a good enemy in the first place. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in good. Next up, we got the Choo-Choo. The Choo-Choo is a pretty mid enemy. Obviously, it doesn't take much damage to fight. You're never going to die to a Choo-Choo unless you're like fighting an electric or fire one. And even still, if you die to a Choo-Choo, I don't know what to tell you, man. But the Choo-Choo are actually more useful in this game than last game, because now that you can actually, now you don't have fire arrows and electric arrows and all that. What you got to do is use those choo-choo jellies to make really quick like water arrows, fire arrows, electric arrows, whatever you need. And over the course of the game, just gathering these guys up, since they don't take much time, they're actually pretty good. So instead of putting them in bad like I would have in Breath of the Wild, I'm going to put them in true mid. Next up, we got the Bokoblin. Now, the Bokoblin in this game is literally the same in the last game. They added a few more things, though. Some Bokoblins can carry, like, little chests or little backpacks with fire spirits and other items on their back, which is pretty cool. The only good thing about the Bokoblins is that they're annoying, and especially this white guy. He's ridiculously hard to defeat, even when you have, like, super strong and high-level weapons. But because it's just such a solid base enemy design, I'm going to put him in good. Next up, we have another new enemy. We got the tree enemy. I don't even know his real name. I just call him the tree. The evil trees. I got to give it to him. That's a really good design. They don't pose any true threat in this game. I don't think I've ever seen anyone die to a tree. Just kind of that initial shock of, dang, this tree's actually moving. It's such a cool design. Certain weapons won't hit it, just like a normal tree. Fire weapons are super effective and will set it on fire. A really good design, so I'm just going to put it in true mid. Next up, we have another new enemy. We got the Gibdo. I can't lie, I hate these guys. This is personal bias. Some people might put him a little higher. I put him in bad. The only reason he's not in trash is because he gives the Gibdo bones that give you the 40 power arrow. Any other character in this game with his qualities, just put him in trash. That's the only reason he's not in trash. We have our Horriblin, another new enemy to the game. I gotta say, the Horriblin was something that I didn't expect, especially the first time I walked into a cave. I actually kind of jumped. I was like, whoa, what is this thing? And I was excited to fight him until I realized that he doesn't really have that many unique attacks. He just kind of goes on the wall and throws rocks at you. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put the Horriblin in true mid. And finally, we have the Moblin, the big Bokoblin. I really want to put him in good because I think the design for both the Bokoblin and the Moblin are very good. There's just really good base enemies, especially the scouts. They can be annoying to fight sometimes, especially if you're not using a heavy weapon. They never fall down and they have infinite HP. But the rewards that you get for defeating them are really good. And they're just like, they're actual threats to Link, which some of these enemies, like the Aracuda, the Horriblin, the Gibdo, those guys aren't, which is why I put them in true mid or even bad. But the Moblin does really well. All four of the people that I've put in good so far, they're all really good at just making you feel threatened, like maybe except the Hinox in certain situations, but they all can deal big damage to you. And the design is really cool. So yeah. Next up we have the Constructs, another new enemy and basically the signature enemy of Tears of the Kingdom. Unfortunately for the Constructs, I'm going to have to put the Construct in true mid. I'll put it at the height of true mid because the designs are just very, very cool. However, they're not really fun to fight. All of their attacks are super laggy. And they're basically the new Guardians in this game, except not really. It would have been cool if we got a weapon that was super effective against Constructs or something like that. But the fact that we didn't made the Constructs a little mid. But I will give them the credit for the design. The design, the captains, the level up system that they have for the Constructs is really, really, really cool. Which is why I'll put it at the top of true mid. It's right outside of good, but I can't put it in good because they're just not fun to fight. And the rewards that you get for beating them, they're just not there. Our last character, we got the Yiga clan. I'm kind of including the small Yiga clan, Master Koga, and the big one all at once because they're all pretty much the same fight. If I was to talk about Master Koga, I would say his boss fights were pretty interesting. They're very creative. And the Yiga clan are kind of the same thing to fight. I'm going to put the Yiga clan in good. Now we're going to move on to the mini bosses and the actual bosses of the game. So first off, I'm going to talk about the Gloom hands first. So Gloom hands are basically comparable kind of to your new Guardians. They're the kind of scary overworld boss that can appear at any time type thing. That they're just in certain areas of the map. They'll chase you. You know, they're very dangerous. And I gotta say, they're very cool. I'm gonna put them in good. And I have to say, Phantom Ganon is our first best enemy in the game. The introduction of Phantom Ganon, how they do it after Gloom hands. You know, you'd expect Gloom hands to just be like, oh, this is like a really creepy enemy that you find in the game. And then after you beat the Gloom hands, it turns into a Phantom Ganon that attacks you. The Phantom Ganon attacks are very cool. The fact that he can wield different weapons, that makes it a mini boss fight in and of itself. And spoilers, you know, when we do that 5 Phantom Ganon fight, that's easily one of the coolest fights in the game. But yeah, Phantom Ganon is fun to fight, drops good rewards, you know, entertaining fight, entertaining enemy, makes the mood really ominous. So yeah, that's easily our best, one of the best enemies in the game so far. Next up, we got the Lionel, another classic. I'm going to put him in best. Lionels are fun to fight, they drop good rewards, the design is sick. There's literally nothing else that you could really ask from an enemy except the Lionel. Next up, we have the Frox. Now, the Frox is really interesting. I didn't fight the Frox until after I beat the game. I think I landed on him one time in the depths, and I was a little scared because I didn't realize what it was. I just saw a boss meter appear, and it was completely dark, and I couldn't see anything, so I couldn't fight him. He's really cool, especially for the boss of the depths. In the dark, he's really ominous, so I'm going to put him in good. Next up, we got Flux Constructs. Now, these guys also are very good designs. I really would like to put the Flux Constructs in best. The only problem with them is that what you get for fighting them is kind of mid. You only get a few stuff from them. You don't get anything too crazy. Overall, just solid design. Very, very nice. It looks really nice to fight him. The theme is pretty cool. Only thing that's not putting him in the best is what you get after fighting him. So it doesn't really make... when I see one of them, I usually would avoid them rather than actually fight them. Next up, for our final overworld boss, we have the Gleeok, and I have to put the Gleeok in best. There's no way that I could put Gleeok any lower than one of the best enemies in the game. Such a cool introduction, such a cool enemy to put in this game. it matches perfectly with the theme of this game. Now that you have more variety of enemies, some of the locations where you would find, say, a Lionel in last game, you would now find a Gleeok. And there's different types of Gleeoks. Obviously, you have the Thunder Gleeok, you have the Ice Gleeok, you have the Fire Gleeok, and then you even have King Gleeok, who is all three at once. Everything about the fight and the design of the character is good, so it's just the best. I have to put in best. Colgera is a very cool design, however, the fight itself is pretty simple. I'm going to put Colgera in good, just because I think the design for Colgera was really nice. It's meh. It's okay. Next up we have Marbled Goma, which is the fight in the Fire Temple. Marbled Goma was kind of annoying. I didn't really like the fight that much. I have to put Marbled Goma in true mid. There's nothing that really stands out for him to me. Next up we have Muktruk. This guy was annoying. I can't lie. He was annoying to fight. But his boss fight was actually pretty interesting. Like the design of Muktruk with the sludge and all that, the shark. It was a pretty cool fight. The design is really what carries him because I didn't enjoy his fight at all. So I'm going to put him in good. Oh, do I want to put him in good or do I want to put him in true mid? I think I'm going to put Muktruk in true mid just because of the design. But the fight was not enjoyable at all. I hated the fight. It was stupid. Okay, next up we have Queen Gibdo. Now, Queen Gibdo, oh man. Oh, if you watched my stream, you would know how much I hated Queen Gibdo. I spent an hour doing this fight. And it was super frustrating for me because I would get through the first stage pretty easily. And then that second stage, it would just fall apart. I was sitting there for an hour trying to beat her. And the worst part is that once I beat her, I didn't even feel happy, bro. And I know that makes it sound like she's a true mid. But the design for Queen Gibdo, the fight itself with the thunder arrows, the ability, it was a good fight. I cannot lie. It was a good fight. So I'm going to put Queen Gibdo in good. Even though I really want to put him in true mid, it does stand out to me above Marbled Goma and Muktruk. And then finally you have Seized Construct. Now, Seized Construct is a cool idea, poor execution kind of thing, I think. I really don't want to put this in good. Like, I don't think this is not a good enemy. I think I'm going to put it true mid. This is the only one, I think, on this whole list that I would alternate, except maybe the Construct, that I would alternate between good and true mid. But I'm going to put it in true mid just because of my personal feelings. But yeah, that's just how I feel. You got the Ganon fights, and I'm ranking them by their individual phases. So obviously now we have first phase Ganon. Now, I will put first phase Ganon easily in the best tier. And the reason is because of the atmosphere when you first walk into the fight. The atmosphere is like really dark. No sounds are happening except Ganon just slowly walking up to you with his sword. It was perfect for the start of the fight. Now, second stage. This is the stage that frustrated me. Second and third phase because I was stuck at second and third phase for another hour. I can't deny that it is also another best. The design for Ganon's second form was very true King Ganon, another very, very sick design. Nothing I can say against it. Even though it was frustrating, it was still fun to fight. Divine Dragon's design was very, very good. However, okay, it's not trash. However, the fight itself was kind of lame. There was no talking, there was no dialogue. For instance, in the last game, when you fought true Malice Ganon in his little horse form and you flew around with the bow of light, you had Zelda talking to you the whole time. It felt very climactic, especially at the end of the game for a fight. However, in this game, you're just kind of flying around on Zelda's back. You know, you're jumping down onto Ganon. The attacks they're not actually dangerous. You're just in the sky. You know you can't die really unless you die somehow to the Gloom. You're not gonna really die on that final fight. So for that reason, the design itself puts it above bad and trash. You're not gonna put this in bad or trash. And honestly, the atmosphere of that final fight, just what I was feeling after beating Ganon, after beating phase 1, 2, and 3 of Ganon's fight, I was so happy to just have like a calming experience. So I can't not put it in true mid either. So I think I'm gonna put Demon Dragon Ganon. I think I'm gonna have to put him, unfortunately, in good. And I hate to say unfortunately because I did enjoy it. But I have to put Demon Dragon Ganon in good. And with that out of the way, this is my full Zelda Tears of the Kingdom enemy tier list. Make sure to let me know if you agree or disagree with this list in the comments down below. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, as always, and I will see you guys next time.